Evening, everybody. It's Loco Sirens. We are doing a little bit later. As these last couple of weeks, we've had stuff happening on Sundays. And welcome. I am Liz, and my co-siren is
I'm Krista.
Miss Krista. And we are here to talk about August 5th, the comics that came out August 5th, our top five. So we're going to talk about Spider-Man, Brand New Day, because I've finally seen it. So now we can talk about it. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it yet, we will probably be giving out spoilers, but we will, you know, we'll say something in advance. We usually do. And then we've got a Screen Rant article about Absolute Batman becoming the Joker. And then who knows, whatever else, usually some weird topic pops up at some point in time in our hour to hour and a half that we're here. So anyway, let's jump right in to our top five comics that Krista's going to start us off tonight. So let me make you bigger here. Let's see. Boom. There we go.
There I am.
All right. There you are. And I have one of her top five. So when she talks about it, I'm going to hold it up. Now I'll do the side by side when we do that. And then go back to the big little. And anyway, so you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Take us away, Miss Krista.
All right. So as Liz said, I only physically have 3 of my top 5 with me. One of them I lent to my sister, and the other one I just don't have a physical copy at the moment. But I'm gonna start out with my my top pick of the entire week actually was the accessories.
Well, I heard good things about that. So it's your top pick.
Yes.
Tell me why.
So it was my top pick. So it's by David Dasmachian and Leah Kilpatrick. They're both so amazing. They're very big in the horror game right now, and horror comics are at like an all-time high right now, and it's making my life very happy.
Oh yes.
So this story is kind of from the perspective of the assistants of classic horror villains. So you're following Igor, and you run into Renfield. So, but they both have been given false promises by their masters, which we know from the classic stories.
Absolutely.
But seeing it from their perspective and them just being so over, finally reaching a pinnacle of like, we're done being given false promises of being, Igor was promised that he would get a healthier body. Renfield was promised that he would eventually become a vampire, what have you. And they both just want free from their masters.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. It's got gorgeous artwork, and it's really funny too. So there's a lot of humor to it.
Horror mixed with humor is the best way to go.
It's in my opinion.
In my opinion, because it takes the edge off the real scary stuff.
Like, this is one of my favorite like moments when right here where he just reaches a point where he's so mad, so he just starts trashing everything.
Yeah. You're right though. Gorgeous art.
Yeah, he just has like a mental breakdown and then just starts like trashing everything.
Oh, I love it. That's
he's
great.
Like,
he looks so sad.
He's very sad because he's been promised things and they're just not happening.
They're just not happening.
Yeah, so it's from Panic Entertainment and also Rocket Ship Entertainment. And I love Panic. They also did Tama, which was one of my favorites from last year. So so I love that so much. I talked about it like in the shop. It was my top pick. I love it. It was my most anticipated comic of this year.
Oh wow, cool. And it was worth the hype?
It really was. I'm loving it so much. And it's just one issue so far out of 4. It's 4 issues, and I'm so happy with it.
Nice.
I'm a huge fan of the 2 writers, and the artists I'm now following online. They're both amazing. All of them are amazing.
So cool.
All right. So my number 2 is Money Shot.
Oh, that's an interesting cover.
So Money Shot is it's almost like spicy Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this group of people that go around. So there's several series of it. So this is the newest one. It's called the F Offs, issue number 1.
I love their outfits.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
There's
very
also
70s vibe.
Oh yeah, and there lots of representation. Like there's people of different color, of different body shapes, as you can see.
Yep. Yeah.
A little bit of everything, and they're very much they get a distress call, they go and solve and help people with it, or they just go and stumble upon things and create problems for themselves. But like I said,
typically Scooby Gang, Josie and the Pussycats, the Chan Gang, all those 70s, 80s cartoons thing, they go somewhere and either they find trouble or trouble finds them.
Correct. But there is a huge emphasis on the spicy because they all like each other. Some of them are exes and they like to have fun with each other, and sometimes they have fun with
poly group kind of.
What?
Okay, it's a little poly group kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Okay,
they go to clubs. They have fun.
Gotcha.
It's from Patton Oswalt, if that doesn't tell you everything.
Absolutely.
We love Patton at our shop.
That's like when you see some things by Kevin Smith, for the most part. Now, yes, he's done some serious writing for Marvel, but for the most part, if you see his name, you know you're in for a treat. Correct. It's going to be funny. It's going to be a little odd.
There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek and a lot of other things in cheek. It's a very, very fun comic.
Absolutely. Okay, so
and then
accessories is your number 1, right?
Accessories, and then I have Money Shot. And then I did White Sky.
Yes.
I know you and I both love White Sky.
Yes, and it was very difficult not to put that on my list.
I had
it was a good issue. It was a very good issue. I just had a lot of competition this week.
That is fair. We're getting so close to the end, and I'm very sad that we're getting close to the end, but it's so good.
And we finally see the zombies, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I guess they're ghost zombies, whatever. Yeah.
You finally
get to see them. Yeah, instead of silhouettes out in the,
Correct.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. And Dad's still alive. We found that out, so that's cool. Spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody. Don't mean to spoil that for you.
But we weren't sure if he was alive because
so we get confirmation he's not in great shape, but he's alive.
Yeah.
And so I'm really going to be interested to see how they wrap this up in one more.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I don't have it with me, but my number 4, I will go with the photo. Do you have the photo?
I do. I'm pulling it up right now. There we go.
Is Chachu. So this one, my
sister, love this cover.
It's so gorgeous. So it's by Iman Vellani, which some of you may know. She is the actress who played Miss Marvel in the MCU.
Yep.
This is a really interesting comic because it's about this Pakistani Canadian girl who is trying to help her estranged uncle whose wife goes missing.
Okay.
So it's a fun adventure, but it's really, really deep in the culture. So it's really beautiful. It's a beautiful comic.
Wow.
And it's really, really fun. So
is it a one-shot or is it going to be a series?
No, it's going to be a series.
Nice.
It's ongoing.
Okay.
And she and the writer, apparently she's a huge comic reader, which is why she really was excited to play Miss Marvel.
Yeah, and I know that both the movie and the TV show kind of got panned, but I really enjoyed them both. I mean, I wouldn't give them Oscars, but they were entertaining. I had fun,
Yeah.
So
the movie, I think, so the Marvels, I think, the story was not the point of the story, and that kind of gets a little lost on people, and it's not always what you want. because the point was the three of them finding their place, working together.
Yes.
But the story of the movie was the three of them trying to fix Captain Marvel's problem that she created by killing that planet's sun, and then that planet slowly dying. So they have to go all over the place to try to like remedy that. So they're just fixing,
and it was kind of convoluted. I mean, we talk more and more about writing being so important now in movies, like you know, so which we'll get into more when we talk about Spider-Man.
Yes.
Right. But I will say it was a little convoluted of a story to follow. Because of what you were talking about, right? There were like two different dynamics going on, right? The plot that they wanted us to follow, and then the leaping around and the changing of the powers and you know, stuff like that. But I will say I thought Imani was the highlight of the movie.
I love Miss Marvel. Like her comics are so fun. And building on our conversation soon, I kind of see her as almost a Peter Parker. Where she's very powerful and she's very strong, but she's so excited and very happy and hyper. And not everyone loves that person.
Yes, 100%.
But she's such a joy. So in she's like that in the show. She has to build that confidence, but she's such a fangirl, and she's so cute, but she's so powerful, and she's got, you know, she's got the ring, she's got the bands. And then in the movie, everyone is kind of angry. Carol is very self-deprecating because she is very angry at herself, and she is very used to working alone.
Absolutely.
And Monica is very bitter because, you know, because of the snaps, she missed her mom dying. And she had to learn how to be on her own, where Carol's used to being on her own. Monica had to learn how to be on her own. And then they had to, and then
you throw in this, I wasn't hardly impacted at all by the snap. It didn't take any of my family or any of my close friends. And I'm a happy-go-lucky teenager, and who is dealing with, I'm a superpower, but at the same time, there's no better time for that to happen than when you're a teenager, because when you're a teenager, you think you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof anyway.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, so it's always more about learning to control it, right? Well, and that's what I thought the TV show did an excellent job.
I agree. I love the show. It was so colorful, and it's so bright. And Kamala did have to deal with a lot of family and culture expectations of her.
Yes. But it was a nice break after Endgame and all of that to focus on. Oh, I'm losing you.
Emotionally, so I think they much like they were so annoyed with her, but anytime someone like got upset with her, they're like, you cannot touch her.
Right.
Like that, she's ours. She's our little sister.
Yeah.
The more I've watched that movie, the more I really love and appreciate it. So I really do. So yeah, so she's amazing. So now she has her own comic, which again builds on a girl who is Pakistani, which I think is amazing.
Absolutely.
We're getting a lot more cultural representation lately.
We need that in the comic community.
A month ago. What?
We need more cultural representation in the community. 100%. So every time even if I don't read it, every time I see another it was really great that Moonstar's story, yes, it played it a lot into her time as a Valkyrie, but it also played a lot into her roots as an Indian. And Echoes, the one shot that came out a year ago, the
more
Phoenix,
Native American culture representation.
Absolutely. And now we've got Pakistani Canadian culture. And they're supposedly taking Storm back to Wakanda. So I would really love to see that. At least I've heard that rumor. I don't know if that's actually true. That's just, like I said, a rumor I've heard. But I just love to see more. I would love to see something from an Asian perspective, like a Chinese or a Japanese that isn't manga, right? Like a comic, a hero. Like, give me a Shang-Chi comic right now. You know what I mean?
I want a story on Shang-Chi's sister.
Yes. Oh my God, what was her name? Oki?
Yeah, because I think that would be a really good story.
Oh my God, I'd buy that in a minute. I would buy that in a minute. She was so badass. Heck, I'd read a comic on his mother's village.
Yes.
I would read I would read more comic about Katie.
Yeah. Oh, I love Katie.
I know. So, I mean, but give me more of that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I would love to see more representation. I think it's well overdue. So, and I moved us to this because A, we were having the conversation, and B, I happen to know that your top 5 is one that's in my top 5 that I was actually going to start with. Perfect. So I figured just hold it up. You talk about it, and then I'll talk about it, and then we'll flip over.
Sounds good.
All right. So you ready to move on, or do you want to talk about
I'm ready.
Kachu some more?
Oh, actually, real quick before we do that, I do have one little thing I need to talk about.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
A friend of the shop, his name is Chad, and sometimes he watches this. So hi, Chad, if you're watching.
Absolutely. If you're watching, Chad, hi.
He made me a gift a couple weeks ago, and I finally brought it home because I've been showing it off in the shop.
Yeah.
So I want to actually show it on the channel.
Please do. Let me put you big again.
So as everybody knows, I'm a huge Dr. Doom fan, as everybody knows. So he made me a short box.
Oh my God, Chad, if you're watching, please make me a Catwoman one. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. That is absolutely stunning.
I'm obsessed.
Of course you are. Of course you are. I would be too. Wow.
And then, yeah, so
here we go. Oh, nice. Very good, Chad. Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent work.
Just
excellent work.
Coolest thing ever.
Ever.
So much.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thoroughly impressed. I'd totally be showing that off. I'm actually, you can barely see it, but I'm showing off the pop you gave me on the back shelf. But
oh, good.
Yeah. Of course I had it, but I don't care. I just put it in a different place.
Okay, cool.
You know, maybe I'll give it to my granddaughter when she's old enough, so she can be her first Catwoman thing. You know.
I just found another.
So awesome on the Doom box. Yeah, no, I'm thoroughly impressed, Chad, if you're watching. All right. So you ready for your number 5?
Now I'm ready.
All right. Here we go.
Woo!
Batman number 12. There you go. Why is it in your top 5?
We finally meet Verity.
I know.
I love her. So spoiler if you guys aren't reading. 3, 2, 1. So we talked about it a little bit last week, but I love the ghost of Alfred still chiming in. And he's and I love Bruce just being how did I not know about Verity? And he's like, for everyone in your position,
the paperwork on your desk.
I love how he's you did not read the paperwork, and for every person in your position, there's someone in my position.
Right.
You can't have 2 without a 1. There's always the power of 2. There's always 2 kind of
There's
thing.
always 2. And I love that they brought back that Pennyworth legacy. I love that so much and made it canon. I just love that so much. Yeah, bravo, DC.
It was so good. So yeah, I had to choose this one.
Yeah, I had to choose this one for that because I love Jorge Jimenez's art, just the way that she looks.
So
this
good.
cover this is the A cover, guys, and she's beautiful, she's smart, she's sassy. So again, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. So there's some bad things happening around Gotham, and Batman is kind of getting his butt kicked, and all of a sudden, like, things start blowing up and stuff, right? And the whole time through this whole comic, Bruce is unsure about Verity, and he's talking to the ghost about it, the whole issue. So you get to the end, and Batman, of course, comes home, as he always does, and Verity's stitching him up like it's nothing. And they're talking about the explosions that came out of nowhere and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to read, just because this is just so amazing, right? And it says, so Damian is contemplating what happened, that all of a sudden things turned, right? And it's Damian says, it feels unlikely, these two converging. How did a pair of lone wolves find themselves in the same hotel, in the same elevator, at the same time? And Verity, oh, aha, that would be me, Master Damian. Your analysis of the situation made me believe none of these assassins knew they were involved in a competitive contract scenario. Using a cutout identity I established on the underweb, I initiated contact with each of them and corrected that oversight. I mean, really, 5 killers against 1 is hardly fair, is it? Now, I'm going to show you the final panel, right? So she's just sitting there talking, and I know my camera is not that great, but you can see Bruce and Damian giving each other the side eye, right? Yeah. And then both of them at the exact same time. You can stay.
Yeah. They're like, all right, we get
that it. Alone, those 3 this final page put it in my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
So it was everything that it had been hyped to be. Don't you agree?
I completely agree.
Yeah, because they had been hyping it for weeks, right? Yeah. I mean, I know Jorge Jimenez was on his Instagram, at least, constantly posting pictures from the inside the comic, and this particular cover. His art is chef's kiss in this series.
I agree.
I didn't see any of the variants. Were there really cool variants?
There were a couple, but honestly, I think the A was the best.
Yeah.
So I think you got the best one.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of just breezed through. So both the video and in the store, because I was kind of, so I was trying to get in and out. So anyway, so yeah, so that's your top 5.
Yep.
Accessories.
Accessories. Here, let's go through them again one more time.
Yep.
So I have accessories.
Yep.
I have money shot.
Money shot. That's the one I keep forgetting.
White sky.
And then
Chachu.
And then
Batman.
Batman. Batman. All right. I guess it's now my turn, right?
It's your turn.
It is my turn. All right. So, since we just talked about Batman, right? That was definitely my not my number 1 of the week, not my number 5. It was actually in the number 2, but since we already talked about it, I just gonna go ahead and get that over with now. And again, beautiful, beautiful art by Jorge Jimenez. Just gorgeous. All right. So second, which was actually my third, but I try to do them in, DC, Marvel, and then Independence. So my second for DC, which is probably around 3 or 4 in the top in the numbers, is Absolute Superman. New arc started with this crazy creature of Brainiac called Metalo, I think is how you pronounce it. And I mean, after what he went through with Captain Marvel, Shazam and Black Adam, the absolute Black Adam, how many times can he get his butt kicked to the point where he's almost dead before he finally comes back? It's just been amazing to me how many times this man has been beaten down and then come back. So, of course, I guess that's Superman, right? Once again, his red cape plays a big part, but this story is just really, really, really good. I have to give Jason Aaron props for, I am not a Superman fan, and 22 issues in and I'm still interested and invested. And I don't hate Superman or anything. He's just not a title that I've read with any regularity.
Which is fair.
Right. So, but I am enjoying the Absolute universe, and his version of it. I like this versions of Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, and that he's the one dealing with Talia al Ghul instead of Batman. So, I mean, there's all sorts of twists that I think are really interesting to the story that's kept me interested. So that's it for 1 and 2, technically. We're moving on to Marvel, and she's one of the only really things I like about Spider-Man. So I couldn't resist getting the one shot, Face the Tiger, Mary Jane. And I wasn't disappointed. There are some really great stories in this. There are 4 stories total, and all but one of them totally entertained me. The art's good in all of them. It's a different writer, different artist for each story. It was a really good representation of different times of Mary Jane and Peter's life, from them being married for a really long time in the future to them still being in school. So you kind of get a variety of everything. The art's great. I love this cover. I thought it was really cute when I saw it. I'm not sure. I think this is Young Yi Lee, I think, is this artist.
Jay Lee.
Yes. Yin Young Lee. And because I know that the J is pronounced with like a Y. I do believe. And then it's EEHYUNG, which is Young. Right? And then last name Lee. But I really like their art. So, and David Nakayama did the interior of the cover. So, it was worth it. It was worth it for the one shot. This is my number 1 of the week. And that is the final issue of Ignition Press's Ripcord. This did not disappoint. The ending to this, the finale, was worth every penny. You finally see the zombies. You finally see her sister. She has to kick. I think her name is Robin. I think it is Robin. She has to just go through so much in this issue to save her sister, but save her sister she does, and it's worth reading how you get to the end. Dylan, that's her name, Dylan. Okay. The main character throughout this whole thing. Yeah, it's great. It was so good, and I gotta say, I really like the fact that Ignition Press only does these 5 issues.
Yeah, Ignition keeps like really short, strong.
Right? If 4 is too short, I'm okay with 6, right? But to me, 5 is the sweet spot.
I agree. I love Ignition. They have really good stories.
They really do. I have not been disappointed with anything that I've read from them so far. Deluge, Voyeur, Ripcord. There's one other that's escaping me at the moment.
I really like The Other Half. That's one that
Yes,
I've been really
see that you actually put that a couple weeks ago. I think last month it made the week it came out. It made your top 5. So
Rob actually met the writers of The Other Half at Comic-Con.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Now I've heard great things about Colin Bunn, about how nice they are in person. And same with Aniki. Is that how you pronounce the name?
Not sure.
So,
yeah,
I've heard really nice things about them. You know, that they're very friendly and nice people and all that. So I'll have to ask Rob what his impressions were.
Yeah, he told me that they were really, really nice, and he had really nice conversations with them. And Rob and I are both huge fans of the Other Half because it normalizes like same-sex couples. Like they were just living their life. It had nothing, like the fact that they were gay was not a major plot point. Like they were just two people who happened to live together. So it normalized it in such a beautiful way.
Right. You said with the writing, it really could have been any couple. Like, and it was, that it just reads really, really, really well.
It does. They're just a cute couple. And I really, really loved and appreciated that they were two men that were written just as normal guys. Like there wasn't any stereotype or anything. They were just two people who are married and just are in a situation. A situation as in like
awesome. Story, we need more of that.
Absolutely. Apparently Rob told that to the writers that him and I both feel that way. So Rob actually got a copy of The Other Half signed for me. And the writers were really, really happy about Rob and I's opinion. So he wrote like, "Thank you so much" on there.
Oh, like, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I have that over in my my signature box, and I may get it framed or plaqued or something.
Oh yeah.
I love that comic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Ignition. I got one more to go.
Let's do it.
And that is Ghost Machine #5.
Nice.
The official guidebook for Hyde Street. This was amazing. So part of me wants to go get Ghost Machine #1 because I'm like reading that there's all these characters that like Frankie.
Yep.
That made their debut in Ghost Machine #1. And then I kept finding it funny that there's all these characters that are going to be introduced, but not until next year. And then there's in all these Hyde Streets that haven't come out yet.
Yep.
So, but it was pretty amazing. So yeah, because I apparently even Hyde Street made an appearance in Ghost Machine #1. So it has me thinking I'm going to be digging through the boxes of the back issues at the store on Wednesday. But yeah, this was so amazing. I loved reading about all of the people on Hyde Street. Ones that I didn't know existed, ones that I forgot about. Like I totally forgot about Reese, the world's smallest monkey, and how he tortures in his own way. He tortures Dr. X-Ray. I totally forgot about that. That's all from like issue #2. Yep. Right. But then there's all these, like, I can't wait for what is it? Yeah, nanny nurse, which is not for 4 more issues. We're only on 12, and we don't find out about her until 15. So 3 more issues. So we already met the nurses Dee and Doe, but yeah, nanny, didn't she look nasty? frightening fact, no one has ever gone into Nanny Nursery's orphanage and come out. I'm like, okay. So yeah, it was just so many and such great artwork. Like, how creepy is that? Little Miss Lamb.
It's kind of giving. Do you remember the books, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Yes.
It's kind of what it's giving.
Yep. So 13 isn't out yet, but I'm really looking forward, which is the next one. So I'm guessing we get to meet Little Miss Lamb for that. And then you might, and then like, yeah, Hyde Street number 16, which doesn't come out till next year.
Mm-hmm.
Gen Z, who has a Gen Z's phone, this is a frightening fact, known as the Doom Scroller, exists in a symbiotic bond with her, and prolonged separation from one another causes severe physical and psychological withdrawal. Anyway, this was amazing. I can't wait to read the older stuff. It made me want to go back and check out the issues that the people are listed in, right? And can't wait for what's coming out next year. So yeah, this has been pretty amazing. I'm so glad that Gary was like, Liz, you read Hyde Street, right? You need that. I was like, okay. I don't even know what Ghost Machine is, right? So yeah, I was like, oh, okay. But the
very,
whole
very
concept
passionate
that
about
they
it.
talked about in the very beginning about how the unnamed turns into the unbelievables, turns into Rook Exodus, which then goes into Hyde Street.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming they're all connected in some way, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how they're connected, but it was amazing. And I really like Raquel Vane. She's the chick in the leopard thing. She was in
awesome.
issue 2. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back and check that out because I don't remember her. I mean, granted, issue 2, because this only comes out, Hyde Street only comes out, what, every other, sometimes every third month?
Yeah.
Right? So, it's like been 2 years.
Yeah.
Since I read issue 2. Anyway, that is my 5.
Awesome.
Oh, and it's a wraparound cover. Forgot to show
that.
Yeah,
they tend to be that way.
Yeah.
So cool.
All the characters of Hyde Street.
With, of course, Pranky in the dead center.
Yeah. Pranky. Alas, we shall never. Frankie's.
Frankie.
Alas, Pranky's dead. That's not a spoiler. That happened like 2 issues ago.
Dead.
So he's dead. But it was a good week in comics.
It was very good. A lot of number 1s.
Yeah. And next week is the week that this coming week is the week that the first of the Bad Seed stuff comes out.
Yep.
I'm excited about that. And then after reading some stuff about Bad Seeds, I'm going to have to read General and Central because they're all going to be interconnected.
Absolutely.
So I haven't added General and Central to my list, but I'll probably just get the A covers and not stress it. But yeah, I was kind of like, oh my gosh. But it looks like it's going to run through. There's not going to be a whole lot of like extra stuff. There's going to be a little, but for the most part, there's going to be like a couple of one-shots or, one shot at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then these 2 new titles that are going to be 3-piece, right? Yeah. I think they're 3-piece. And then everything else is running through the normal continuity. So I'm assuming we're going to get more of it in Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy didn't come out last week, right? Because according to my catalog thingy, it should have 47 should have come out last Wednesday, because they have 47 coming out the last week of the month. Coming out the same week that the Batman Bad Seeds Sunset.
Yeah, it's now coming out August 26th.
Yes.
Pushed because of the Bad Seed situation.
Okay, so that's 46. Because like what I was saying is, like, on this catalog, that, you know, this that's on the back of the catalog.
Yeah.
Right. This is what I track. It had 46 coming out this past Wednesday, and then it has 47 coming out on the 26th. So they must have pushed 46 back to the 26th, and then they're going to do 47. Probably normally, it always normally drops on the first week. So they'll probably just put 47 back first week next week. I mean, next month. Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Anyway, it's weird. I know that they say in the thing that sometimes that these can change. These dates on the from the back of the catalog can change. So, but yeah, I was really surprised Poison Ivy didn't come out Wednesday, but then I figured that they were building up for the big Bad Seeds stuff.
Yeah, so they pushed 47 will now come out at the end of the month.
46 hasn't come out yet.
Didn't it come out last month?
Hold on. Maybe.
46 I thought came out at the beginning of last month with the swimsuit.
I'm gonna check. Hold on.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure 46 came out.
No, you're right. It did. It came out already.
Because it had a swimsuit
last month. So it's just 47. Okay. All right. I'm crazy. I'm losing my mind.
No, you're good. I want to make sure that I wasn't crazy. I'm like, I feel like that already came out.
Yeah, no, it did. It totally did.
I get the cover stuff.
Yeah. So they're doing the Gotham General, Gotham Central. Then there's the Bad Seeds Batman Sunset, which is a one-shot.
Yes.
And then everything else is running through the rest of the titles, like Batman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Catwoman. Yeah. Everything is running through that. So correct. The only thing I'll miss, I guess, is Nightwing, because I don't get that title, but which is fine. I don't need the Nightwing, but everything else is going to be interconnected, which I kind of rather that they do that than the way Marvel does it, to make you buy
everything
34 issues, because they have too many Spider-Man titles too. I couldn't believe when I was looking at the newest catalogs that I got to make my order to Rob with, you know, for the stuff that's coming out in October. Dude, half the catalog is Spider-Man. Various Spider-Man titles.
Half of it is Midnight.
Well, that's the other half. I was going to say there's like 4 pages of everybody else in between the Midnight and then all the Spider-Man. Because at the beginning it's all Spider-Man. And then there's like 4 pages of the other characters. Because I saw Sorcerer Supreme is not listed for October. So I'm wondering if the title is ending after 9 issues or if they just taking a break.
I think it might be ending. I will say,
I think it's ending too, because Doctor Strange and Doom are getting ready in October to start a new story.
True.
So I'm thinking that, you know, I don't know. You never know what with Marvel.
I will say Marvel is, if you look in the back of the catalog, Marvel, we were talking about this in the shop, Marvel is taking a huge, huge risk. So the week of October 7th, the only Marvel titles will be the Midnight titles.
Hold on, let me look.
Pausing everything else.
What you're talking about, but I've got to pull it out. I already took it out of the catalog, so I got to pull it out from my stack here. All right, I'm looking for what's coming out in October. Okay, so yeah, so October 7th, they only have 1 title, Doom All in One.
Mm-hmm.
On October 14th, they only have 1 title. Oh, wait a minute. No, those are for special things. Okay, so the comics, yes. So 10/7, it's all Midnight. 10/14, it's 3 titles, but it's all Midnight. On the 14th, you get everything else. The Star Wars Black Cat, Iron Man, Captain America, Captain Britain, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Deadpool.
A new Nova, which I'm excited for.
On the 28th, there's only Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 21st, we go back to everybody. You know, there's a big long list, and then there's a big long list on the 28th. So yeah, you're right, because the first week and the interesting. Okay, it must have something to do with the final order cutoff date, because the Daredevil is also on sale on the 28th, not by itself. It got it listed by itself here on the list under FOC. It says FOC 9/14/26 on sale 10/28, and it's all by itself, Daredevil number 8. But then on sale 10/21 is this big huge long list, and then on the 28th there's a big huge long list.
Yeah, certain things have different FOC dates.
Okay.
So don't look at the FOC date, look at the release date, like the
on sale. Look at the release date. So Daredevil is coming out with everything else that's coming out on the 28th. And that's when I noticed, because usually Sorcerer Supreme comes out either on the last week or the second to last week, and it's not listed here at all.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
But I think it's just...
So yeah, they're taking it. They're hoping that they can do with Midnight what DC did with Absolute Universe. And, you know, maybe they will. Maybe they'll get lucky, and Philip Kennedy Johnson and the other writers that are going to be writing these stories are going to knock it out of the park like Scott Snyder did. I mean, I have no qualms about them doing that. You know what I mean? Like, please, you know, if it works for you, try it. But I have a feeling that it might be too dark. Not everybody likes the dark side. Do you know what I mean?
No, but what we were talking about earlier, when I was saying horror is at an all-time high right now.
It is.
So, and then I think they're also trying to counteract how dark the Absolute Universe is.
Yes.
So I think they're trying, because Marvel tends to be a little bit bright. Story-wise, very tragic, but visually is very dark.
Hey, Chad. We were talking about you earlier in the show. I love the Dune box. Oh my gosh. I want to beg you to make me a Catwoman one. Oh, it's that Dune box. Excellent work, Chad. Excellent work. Yeah,
but I think with
I really hope it works out for them. I'm not going to be reading it, so you know, because it's just none of the characters that they're doing or characters that I'm interested in. However, Black Cat will probably tip her foot in and out, because like
very possibly
she's doing it in Queen of Black, like this issue that's coming out, I think next week, if not next week, the week after, is tied into the Queen of Black storyline.
Yeah.
So, and she was in that number 2, right?
Yes, she was.
So, and I should make an honorable mention that the number 2 was good, but it just wasn't good enough for my top 5.
That's fair.
But I really did enjoy the number 2. But I also found it kind of weird that it's actually depicting events that's happening before the Defenders of Light stuff and dark stuff. But they put that out first. And that didn't make any sense to me.
That's fair.
You know? So, yeah, so the order that they're publishing it in. And so that's also kind of, Krista, what worries me about this whole Midnight thing is like they're continuing to like make quote unquote mistakes in their printing or publishing dates, and things get switched around. Like for example, this, right? They were supposed to put Queen in Black, the first one, out the first week of July. It doesn't come out until the first week of August, right? For whatever reason. Then they put it out with another title, another 2 titles that take place after number 2, right? Out of this 5-issue Queen in Black, just the Queen in Black by itself, right? So why? Is it because it got delayed and you meant for it to come out earlier and the other ones were supposed to come out after number 2 came out? It's just
kind of feels that
but
way.
they're doing that on a regular. It's not just Queen in Black. They kind of did that with Blood Hunt as well, right? Like they released side stories or little one shots that were out of order for where you were in the overall story, right?
Yeah.
Like, and if they continue to do that, then Midnight is not going to succeed, because you need, the thing that works with DC. Think about what they did with the KO. There were all these side stories, right? But they all played a part after the big event that came out before the other titles came out, right? And it was all in a continuity. What's the word I'm looking for? Continuity basis.
Yeah.
And whereas sometimes Marvel puts things out in a disjointed way. And if they don't do that and they stick to chronologically for Midnight, I think it'll be great. But if they don't and they kind of fudge with this is happening, but that is happening, and then but this happened, and this is how you were giving you the comic, but it actually happened before what everything you've read. That's when I think that they're going to have issues. And I also do think that they're lagging in sales for a reason, right? Yes, they've hired some really great writers. Those writers are only writing like one thing, though. Like Philip Kennedy Johnson right now, he's just finishing up what he was doing for DC. But is he still writing the Hulk?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's writing the Hulk, and now he's going to take over the Spider-Man. But like Stephanie Phillips is only writing Daredevil. So I don't know. I am in the camp that Marvel's formula is not conducive to beating DC's sales, based on that they constantly take every character back to issue 1. They never let anybody seem to go beyond 10 to 12 issues tops.
Yeah.
And then they're resetting stories. So people can't really get invested, because the second you're not invested until issue 6, in my opinion. You can get engrossed and want to read in those first 2-3 issues, right? But you're not fully invested, in my opinion, until 5-6, right? Given these ongoing stories, right? And then they're cutting it off just when it's starting to get good. And then they give you this, oh, well, this person will appear in this other thing, but it won't be them by themselves. It will be them with the X-Men or them with the Avengers, and so for somebody like me, you're going to lose me the minute you do that, because like I don't want to read an Avengers. I know Storm is an Avenger, but I prefer the stories that you give me just with Storm, where she is the center focus. And if she's dealing with any of the X-Men or Avengers, right, they're on the periphery because she's the main lead. Those are the stories I like the ones that they just did with her. So I'm not going to go out and buy the X-Men and Avengers or either one of those titles, because I was never really into them, right? But you give me Storm or Rogue or Wanda or Jean Grey by herself, with a story that's driven by her, I'm all in.
I definitely think that one of Marvel's biggest issues right now is, how do I word it? It's lack of belief in themselves and oversaturation. I feel like they have way too many characters and way too many characters being used in multiple ways. So
like we were just talking about Spider-Man.
You even said, like, say Storm, one of our favorites. So if you want Storm, you can read her solo series, you can read her in Avengers, you can read her in X-Men. But also if you want X-Men, there's Uncanny X-Men, there's X-Force, there's Generation X. There's so many different X-Men related
the X-Men in New York.
So, and that's great in one way, because that means there's something for everybody. So if you were like, I really like Storm, but I prefer her with the Avengers, cool. I like Storm, but I prefer her by herself, cool. There's something for you. But they make them so complicated, and a lot of times you have to do so much homework beforehand, which if you're a big comic reader, then sometimes that's nice. But at the same time, it's also sometimes frustrating, because they don't always, they'll have so many different writers. They're like, hey, so we're going to pull this person, have them on it. So it can get really convoluted and really confusing.
Yeah.
And hard to follow, like we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
what we were also
reset.
Yeah. And then what we were just talking about, the fact that they don't let them go beyond 10 or 12 issues. And then either they don't always get rid of the writer, because look at Steve Orlando. He's been writing Wanda for 3 years. Right?
Yeah.
They just cut him off at 10. He pitches them a new story, and then they give him another 10 issues, and then they cut him off, and he gives them a new story. And, so he's been writing consistently throughout the whole thing. Same with the person writing Storm.
Yeah.
And then they take over, like, right now they're also writing X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Steve Orlando's writing, one of them's writing Avengers as well, and the other one's writing X-Men. As far as the person whose name I can't pronounce, so I'm not even going to try, that writes Storm, and Steve Orlando, who is writing or right now writing Sorcerer Supreme for Wanda. They both are writing other titles for Marvel, but that's all that they usually give them, is like 2 tops, which is fine. You know what I mean? DC does that kind of same thing, but I just think DC right now is firing on all cylinders, right? Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody's on the same page. The comics, for the first time in a really long time, no matter where you pick up in Gotham, the same thing is happening. Right? When you pick up a Nightwing comic, you're getting a Nightwing story, but Vandal Savage is still commissioner of the PD. Poison Ivy's mayor, right? There's all these consistencies in the current run that are consistent throughout all of the titles. Just like everything that's going on, the titles for everything that's going on in Metropolis are the same, right? What's going, do you know what I mean? So, and I think that's, and they're also doing that with the Absolute Universe. They're all standing alone, but they're all following a formula.
That's true.
That's remaining consistent.
I will also say, building on what we've been saying about anytime like Marvel will release a series, but then cut it off at like 14 or something, like 12.
Mm-hmm.
What number of Detective Comics are we on right now?
We just had 1111.
1111. So that's 11,111 so far. Action Comics is close. I think they're close
to 1,100. They're close to 1,100 because they came out, I want to say, a year or a little more, like 12, 14 months after Fun Comics, which is where Detective started, right, in 1939. So I believe is the date. But yeah, those 2 comics have consistently.
How many Nightwing do we have? We're in the 100s of Nightwing. Nightwing has not always been great, and they've even jumped writers, but it's through thick and thin, they've pushed through. Detective Comics went through some really, really bad eras. Action Comics went through some really, really bad eras. Some really great, but they kept going.
But they kept
believed in it.
Even when they started over.
Yeah.
They kept going.
What number are we on Catwoman?
We are on 89. 89 is the one that just came out. So 90 next month. And you know me, I keep saying give her 100 issues. You've got to get her past 94 because you cut her off in the 90s, early 2000s. You cut it off at 94, and none of the others have gone that long.
Yeah.
So I would, and there doesn't seem to be any indication that it's slowing down, which I'm really, I want to see her. She's never had 100 issues. So I want to see her get 100 issues.
And they're getting close to that. Harley and Ivy are in the 50s to 60s range.
Yeah, Harley is in her 60s, and Poison Ivy, we just said she's going to be 47 next month. So she's almost halfway there. Now Poison Ivy has never really had her own title before. Correct. I do believe. So this is a first for her. Didn't the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm's comic in the 90s when they first introduced Harley, didn't that go over 100 issues?
Yeah.
So I thought it did. So I'm looking forward to getting the facsimile of the number one for that.
And at Comic-Con, I believe they announced it at Comic-Con, Scott Snyder even said that Absolute Batman, they have planned through 50 issues.
50,
and plans on going even further.
Yeah.
And so do the other
part of me is groaning because that means these titles aren't going to go away off my list anytime soon. But at the same time, as long as you keep me entertained, more power to you. That's for me, that's the key. You got to keep me invested. You got to keep me entertained. That's like, I dropped Harley for a bit because Elliot, Kaylin? Yeah. Anyway, when he hit like the mid to late 40s, he took over from Teeny, I really was just kind of like, I really don't like this. Then he won me over with the whole flirtation with the crazy apartment lady. And so I went back and ended up having to get all those issues that I missed, right? But I'm really done with Batquin. I don't know about you, but I am just so done with Batquin. I was
it was fun, but I'm over it.
Page, right? It reminds me of like getting through those 4 issues of Wonder Woman when she was on Mouse Island.
Yes.
For all Tom King wrote for 28 pages, 4 issues, whatever the math of that is. The only thing he wrote was mice have ears, the mouse man knows. I was so tired of that phrase that I wasn't even reading them. I'm just checking out the artwork. Give me to the end. Did anything happen? No. Oh, wait. No.
Yeah.
I was so glad. And to me, I was like, this is such a cop-out. 4 issues of that. 1 issue I can see. 4 issues were, I don't know. I just felt like it was just like, oh, so that's all you had to do was write these 2 phrases over and over and over again for 28 pages. Give me a break. Because that's all the writer does. They're doing the writing, they're doing the drawing and stuff, Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was frustrating. But then he came back with a roar because the story is excellent. Ever since they came back and she got off that island, it's been action-packed every issue. So I guess sometimes you have those low points to get back up. So back to my original statement. I really do hope that we're getting to the end of Batquin. It was entertaining at first, but then it just seemed, I don't know, it was almost too over the top. You're the Harley Quinn fan. I felt like she was too over the top as a parody of Batman.
I thought it was fun and it was cute when it first started, but I got over it real quick. I was like, this is like a cute little like one-off, but like
yeah,
going on, like the joke is over.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
100%.
Like I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. Like I want her, but I also want her. I want her and Ivy back together.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get that. I'm really hoping that we get that, but you never know. Okay, so last thing to talk. Yes, last thing to talk about for comics, and then we'll move into Batman. I mean Spider-Man, brand new day.
You got it.
And so I read Screen Rant a lot, and last week they put out this article. DC's Absolute Batman has officially become the Joker. So I'm going to read part of this article to you.
Right.
I'll share the article link on our in the comments and everything when I load this video for this show up on YouTube later. Okay, so warning: this post contains spoilers for Absolute Batman number 20, which was 2 issues ago. So you know, I'm sure if you're reading it, you know one of the things. One of the most fascinating things about DC's Absolute Universe is how aggressively it flips the standard. Oh, by the way, this was written by Kevin Erdman. Okay, giving credit where credit's due. How aggressively it flips the standard dynamics fans are used to. This is especially true when it comes to Absolute Batman and Gotham City. Case in point, recent issues have made it abundantly clear that this new version of the Dark Knight has essentially become the Joker of the Absolute Universe. The best thing about DC's alternative universe is the impressive level of creative freedom to fully reimagine characters, relationships, and how certain heroes and villains are perceived. Key examples include Superman living on Krypton for years as a child, ahead of the planet's gradual and much slower demise, or Wonder Woman, who was raised as a witch by Circe in hell itself. Likewise, Absolute Batman operates very differently from the mainline Batman, so much so that he's now receiving a reputation that's more in line with the mainline Joker. As seen in the new Absolute Batman number 20, so like I said, this is a little older, the entire city is turned on Batman thanks to the effort of Jack Grimm V, the Absolute Joker, and the recently debuted Absolute Scarecrow, highlighting just how upside down the dynamics are compared to the primary universe. Gotham City now views Absolute Batman like DC's mainline Joker. Then they show a page where it was a TV thing when they were talking about the Robins. Mm-hmm. And the newscasters were talking about the Robins and how what a great initiative it was and how they were the exact opposite of Batman. Thanks to the manipulations of Joker and Jack Grimm V, Absolute Batman's public image has completely collapsed in recent issues. After James Gordon was compelled to kill himself by Scarecrow, the death was pinned on Batman, who tried and failed to save Gotham's former mayor. With Batman now viewed as an extremely dangerous individual and a threat to Gotham citizens, Grimm and Mayor Hill activated the New Robin Initiative, a strike team of wards taken in by Grimm and trained by Slade Wilson, their first mission being to hunt down Batman himself. As such, Absolute Batman 20 opens with the news calling the Dark Knight an agent of chaos and the cowled prince of crime. Naturally, both of those depictions are clearly intentional references to the main DC universe's Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker famously described himself as an agent of chaos in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight movie, while the clown prince of crime is one of Joker's most classic monikers. Additionally, Absolute Batman's Joker-esque reputation is further established once he learns the truth about his own tragic past. While the previous issue teased a majority conspiracy behind Batman's origins, with Gordon giving Bruce files labeled Project Batman right before his death, Scarecrow reveals the actual truth in this new issue. There was never a grand plan beyond the murder of Bruce's father, a response to Bruce's mother and her involvement with that Absolute Universe's version of the Court of Owls. Grimm and Scarecrow simply thought it would be funny to have Thomas killed during Bruce's class field trip to the zoo bat enclosure, as bats are the natural prey of owls. As a result, Scarecrow specifically tells Batman in this issue that his entire existence is a joke. As Absolute Batman increasingly occupies the Joker's typical narrative role, Jack Grimm V simultaneously exhibits several defining traits typically associated with the mainline Batman. Unlike Absolute Batman, Grimm possesses massive amounts of wealth and infinite resources. Not only that, but he also has his own manor and secret cave. Now, Jack Grimm also has several Robins working for him: Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Duke Thomas. Clearly, Absolute Joker has everything Batman should have in the main DC universe, proving the darkness inherent in this darker reality created by Darkseid himself. Comparatively, Absolute Batman ironically has Harley Quinn and the Red Hood gang as allies, and many of his childhood friends have become twisted versions of the classic Gotham rogues: Killer Croc, Penguin, Two-Face, Riddler, and Catwoman. With every new issue, the entire mythology of Gotham continues to invert. As such, it's going to be fascinating to see how the story continues to unfold, especially as the stakes are raised with Batman taking on all the Robins. So that's the article.
Interesting.
There's a couple of little video thingies in between that I skipped over, obviously. I do think it's really interesting that they are made. I had not really, of course, I read that they called him the Agent of Chaos and the cowled Prince of Crime, right? But it really, I did not make that mental connection about those are all the things that we call Joker in the main continuity, right? Mm-hmm. So I really thought it made an excellent point that it really has role reversed everything.
Yeah.
You know, Gordon wasn't police commissioner, he was mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Mom didn't die, she's part of the Court of Owls. Dad was killed as a joke. You know, I mean, we've said it all along. All of his friends are all the villain, are his rogue gallery.
Yep.
Minus the Joker. So I do think that in a way, they have made Absolute Batman in that universe. That universe's Joker.
They really have, especially it brought up a good point about even though he is allies with Harley and the Red Hoods, the Robins Initiative was created to kind of stop him.
Right.
So
in his tracks.
Yeah.
And who's Duke Thomas? Is that a Robin that I'm missing?
Yeah.
When was he Robin?
That's Duke Thomas.
Okay. But when was he? Is that a Robin in the main con? I mean, I know who Stephanie Brown is. I know, obviously, we know Dick, Tim, and Jason. I had never heard of Duke Thomas, and I'm a Batman reader.
Let me pull it up. See, was a Robin like back in
probably when I wasn't reading
like the mid 2000s.
Yeah, right when I wasn't reading. That's okay. That makes sense. In that gap that I didn't read any Batman, because I didn't read anything from like 2002, 3 until 2023. It was like a good 20-year break.
He was introduced in the New 52.
Okay. So sometime
issue number 21.
Okay.
He was unnamed, and then they announced they gave him a name, Duke Thomas, in issue number 30. and he became Robin in We Are Robin issue #1. We Are Robin issue #1.
Okay. Excellent. Good. I learned something new tonight. There we go.
He's also created by Scott Snyder, and Scott Snyder
is the one writing Absolute Batman. Okay. Yep. And is the creator of this whole universe. I mean, he isn't the one writing Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, any of these. He's only writing the Batman title, but this is his baby.
Yes.
So
he's kind of like a consultant baby. At this point. He's kind of like a consultant for the Absolute Universe at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for the Absolute Universe. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that was all I wanted to talk about on that. So are we ready to go into Spider-Man before we start pulling in, 2 hours? Well, we're almost an hour and a half, so we're doing pretty good still.
Yeah. I want to hear your Spider-Man opinion.
So I did love the movie.
You did or did not?
I did. I loved the movie. I thought it was a good Spider-Man movie. However, I am not in the camp that thinks it's the best Spider-Man. I do not think it topped the last one. Oh, No Way Home. I do not think it topped. It topped the dynamic of the three Spider-Man, or all those villains, or Ned finding out that he can be a sorcerer. There was just, they were very different movies. One was very lighthearted. One was very serious, downer. I mean, this movie was an excellent street level Spider-Man movie, but it was also kind of sad and depressing throughout the whole thing. In a lot of ways. I mean, Peter was constantly missing his friends. I did like the action. Like, I loved how they filmed. Like, you felt like you were swinging with him, just like you
felt
said.
Like you were. It felt like the video game.
I love that. I love that they brought DeWolf from the comics in. I love the little montage of all the villains from the comics that he brought in, and a lot of those montages were actually montages and homages to specific covers. So I thought that was really cool. But on the whole, I mean, I was like bawling at the end when Aunt May is talking to Sadie Sink's character. I did think that it was an excellent use of Jean Grey. Spoiler, if you guys did not know that already.
Spoilers, guys. If you
and plus, most of what we're going to talk about in reality has been spoiled for across the internet for ever since the movie came out. It's like, if somebody doesn't know that Sadie Sink plays Jean Grey, they are purposely keeping their head in the sand because it's been everywhere.
I love that for you.
Yeah. Well, we love that for you. You don't want to watch anymore.
Can't relate, but love it.
Go ahead and log off. We love you. Come back next week. But so I cried when MJ told him that, the girl you wrote this letter to doesn't exist because I don't have any of these memories, so I don't love you. I love the end though, with the muscle memory with Ned, and then all of a sudden Ned's like, Peter.
Now,
I did read an excellent theory, and I want to say it, and then I'm gonna let you talk.
Go for it. Okay. I want to hear it.
So Ned supposedly got his memories back. Okay, in that moment. So I was watching a theory, also by Screen Rant on their YouTube channel, where when Sadie's doing that thing that she's holding everybody frozen and MJ's crying, right? And then Jean has to save Peter. In being in his mind that deep, gave her everything she needed to give MJ back those memories.
Yes.
And there were two theories. One was during that frozen thing, the act of doing that broke the spell for MJ, right? The memory spell. Then the other theory was that didn't do it, but while Peter was in the hospital and she was keeping him alive, that's when before she left, that's the last thing that she did, was she restored MJ's memories. So all you get, and all these theories were just from the tear when she's frozen, and then that one facial expression at the end. Right? So, which, I think it's possible. What do you think?
So I think we saw that heartbreaking scene in the middle of the movie where you think MJ remembers him, he breaks down in front of her, and then it turns out it was Jean just totally messing with him. I think, and she even said, wow, there's none of you in here. Yeah. I think so she's been in her mind before.
Yeah, right.
So I think, and she knows, she's been in Peter's mind. She knows how important MJ is and how important Ned is.
Right.
So I think when she was keeping Peter alive, kind of like what you were saying, that when she was keeping him alive, she was seeing all of his memories, and she misses her sister. She realized what happened to her sister and wanted to give Peter something that she does not have. Peter has no one.
Right.
So she wanted to give him something. So I think she gave him back both Ned and MJ.
Yeah.
But I think it took a spark. It took something to kickstart it. So the handshake, you could see Ned being like, oh, like he turned off.
It was muscle, the hands were just, that's muscle memory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but why would his muscles have that memory if he doesn't remember anything? So it was amazing. So I think that's what kickstarted it for him.
Absolutely.
It slowly came back. The final scene of MJ is her sitting on a rooftop holding the Black Dahlia necklace.
Yes, and just fingering it. Yeah.
So, and then you could just see her just like spinning it and looking very sad and quizzical, but almost smiling. I think it all came back to her. So I think that's when she remembered.
Okay,
me too. Fan theory. I did see a fan theory that she got her memories back way earlier. And when she went to Peter and she's like, who wrote this letter? Like, this girl isn't here. That the theory is that she actually had her memories back by then, but she was giving him the same thing that he did to her, where she was letting him go to save him, being like, hey, me being in your life is detrimental. You having a girlfriend is bad. Yeah. So I'm going to take myself out of the equation. That's a theory that I don't personally believe, but at the same time, it could be. I fully think that Jean gave him back his friend's memories, and they just needed a kickstart.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you 100%. But it was kind of like it was never really a fully quote unquote uplifting movie. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of, go ahead.
So my thing with it, I really enjoyed this movie for the opposite reasons of why I know you did not like this movie. I'm always big into horror movies, and I'm always saying like horror stories always have some of the most beautiful heart and touching stories within them. This movie was not an uplifting, happy Peter story. This was a movie about grief. He went through loss. He went through self-sabotage. How many times did the cop, she would be like, I don't even know you, and I want you to relax.
Yeah.
Like, go home. And he's like,
I don't even know my kids' names.
Yeah. So I think, so he had no one, so he decided to kind of, now this is my wording, and this is not going to be the most PC way to word it, but I think he was almost committing self-harm in that way. He was running himself ragged. He was
absolutely, I completely agree with you.
Jumping into any project ever.
Yep.
And that heartbreaking scene where he went to the party and he saw MJ with her boyfriend, he was swinging.
Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
I was like, did anybody besides me notice that? The actor that's playing Ezra Bridger on Ahsoka. I thought that was so cool.
But when he saw that, he left, and he was swinging in the rain.
Yeah.
And he was just breaking down. And then there was that beautiful but horrible moment of when he was falling, and you could see on his face he was debating about actually throwing another web or not.
Yeah.
He was literally at his breaking point.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking, but it was so real.
Yeah.
And I think that's why him being paired up in this movie with Frank was so perfect.
Absolutely.
Frank Castle, the Punisher, has been through absolute hell. He has lost his family. He was betrayed by his best friend, his brothers, like all of his friends, like everybody betrayed him. He lost everything, and he is just angry.
Yeah.
And he's bitter and angry, where Peter could be bitter and angry, but he's not bitter and angry. He is just depressed.
Yes.
He is
and lonely.
And
Frank
depressed. Went through that. So I think Frank is kind of seeing that. And he's like, he even says, he's like, I'm going to kill this kid. Like, he thinks Peter's so annoying, but he understands Peter on a level that like no one else really can.
Their dynamic in this was really, really, really great.
Perfect.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. I also, when you were talking about that being so moving and that heartbreaking scene, and there were so many moments in that, and I think that's why I said this is not an uplifting movie, because there are so many moments where you get incredible character growth and a wonderful examination of grief from varying different degrees. Right? Yeah. Because believe it or not, MJ and Ned are also grieving without even knowing what felt off. But they even talked about it. Something was off, right? Yeah. So that not final, but that kind of like interaction in the last act, when Peter lets her fully into his mind and Aunt May gives that speech, but then suddenly it's him and Jean.
Yeah.
And they're just, I'm sorry about your sister. I'm sorry about your aunt. I was bawling.
Oh, I cried through the whole movie.
I was bawling in the whole theater. But it was so moving in a cathartic, healthy way, right? That it was, it wasn't depressing in a, oh my gosh, this is too much for me kind of way, but it was very moving. It was very impactful. I can't wait to see what's coming in the next, where we're going to see them again in this saga of what that is the Marvel cinematic universe. I thought everybody was on their A game in this movie. Literally, everybody was on their A game. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Sadie Sink. Tom Holland is really just, he now is Spider-Man in a way that I think for somebody like me who grew up watching Tobey Maguire grow up, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of like the definitive Spider-Man for my generation. And but even in a way that he did not do through his 3 movies, like by the second and the third movies, I don't know how to explain it, because when I say it, this isn't going to sound right, that he kind of aged out of it, right? And when I say that, I don't necessarily, I mean, I'm well aware that there are storylines in the comics of Peter going from high school all the way into middle in old age, and that you don't have to keep him in high school forever like Archie and the gang, right? So when I say he grew out of it, I don't really mean it in that regard, but it was just like he wasn't as believable in the role. It looked like work for Toby by the third movie. Right? It didn't, he didn't, you would think by movie 3 there would be an ease that Tom Holland has, an ease to Spider-Man, you're into the movements, your body is moving in this acrobatic way. And for me, Tobey Maguire, that got less with each movie. It was like his physical body was aging out of what we need Spider-Man to be able to do. And he's not any older than Tom Holland is now. I mean, my God, he's almost 30, right? Or he's early 30s, right? But Tom Holland is, and I never liked Andrew Garfield all that much as Spider-Man, so I'm just going to kind of skip over his 2 movies. But he really never really got to get into the role for that very reason. There was only 2 movies. They kind of killed off Gwen Stacy, and after that, it was done, right? But Tom Holland, even though it's completely believable that we're 5, 6, 7 years out of high school by now, right? He still has that ease of acrobatic movement and that youthful, bendy, super flexible, that I hate to say it, but we all, I mean, even in the comic book, they joke about it, right? The older we get, the less the more we lose, right? Tom Holland hasn't lost any of that. He's just as athletic and gymnastics looking and all that today as he was when we got him in his early 20s in that first movie, right? And so I really think that he has found that comfort level in the role that the other 2 actors were never able to really fully achieve when they were playing Spider-Man. That being said, the dynamic of the older, middle-aged, younger that we got in the movie before played beautifully for what it was. Like even Toby, like, okay, you want me to show you? I'm just going to go like this, and then it was like, oh, you really want me to crawl? And then it's like,
oh, that was Andrew.
Okay, all right, crack the back.
I did enjoy that too.
Yeah, so that was so the 2 others' limitations really played really well against Tom Holland in that movie thing. Hence why I still think that movie is a better movie than this Spider-Man is.
I will say
both are excellent movies. I mean, they're both like 8, 9, 10 stars, right? I just, for me personally, I liked that a little bit more lighter, kind of a little bit more comedic presentation personally than I did. It, like I said, I loved the movie, but it was just a little on the kind of sad, depressing side compared to the fun that we had in the last movie. That doesn't make it a worse movie by any means, because
it's not what you wanted.
Dude,
it's not as enjoyable for you, which is okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is exactly. It's totally okay. I
enjoyed the story, but I do understand like it was darker.
Yes.
But I think that made it more real because the average Spider-Man comic, he's not having a good time.
No. Happy. And that is the other thing, like not reading Spider-Man comics, or not since I was a little girl anyway. I can't really comment on, if he's not having a good time or not. But that is also things that I did read, that people were praising it for being a very street level comic, Spider-Man comic movie. Like you could have picked it right up out of a comic book page and been thoroughly entertained. It was a self-contained, this is the villain is caught at the end. There's no, this is a multiverse thing and you have to know 10 billion things before you watched it. Even if you didn't know how he lost his memory or how everybody lost their memory of him, that was kind of irrelevant, right? It just it was almost like it just happened. The why doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, you could have probably joined in this movie and kind of figured it out, maybe.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think the story flowed very, very well. I think how heavy it was all of his Spider-Man movies have had heavy topics, have been very heavy. Even Civil War was heavy. I think the difference is that now he doesn't have his community.
Right.
So I think him losing everybody, and that was a huge thing about, I think, Tom Holland versus the other Spider-Man. I personally really, really love Andrew Garfield. I know I'm a huge, huge enigma in that. But I think the chemistry between Tom Holland and his friends, him eventually marrying his MJ aside, but his chemistry with like Ned and even Flash and like everybody in the movie, I think really was strong. And his connection, obviously, with like the director and production team was a lot stronger than the other two, because like they had good chemistry, like, you know, the groups in the past, but this one you felt that they were friends.
Yes.
We know that John Bernthal and Tom Holland have known each other for like 15 years. They did each other's tape.
Yeah, and it was that camaraderie was visible on the screen.
Shined.
And it's also like, it's well known that Tom and Jason, the guy who plays Ned, have been friends since they were like in junior high. That is
so
something that is very obvious.
Really
it's obvious he's in love with Zendaya, you know. I mean,
he's now married to her, but
I do think that there is that relationship, that dynamic. And going back to what you said about this being a heavier movie, I think the isolation was more pronounced to us as the audience.
Exactly.
They wanted us to feel like Peter feels, because they didn't share screen space for the first time in 4 movies. They had very limited screen time together, the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right? Ned, MJ, and Peter. His core, after Aunt May, his core support system. So I really do think that the movie, in multiple ways, examined, like you were saying, it was a movie about grief. It wasn't just a movie about grief. I think it was a movie about grief and isolation, because they showed isolation on varying levels, right? They showed Peter, and we were talking about it just a few minutes ago, about how he was self-harming, not getting enough sleep, not eating right, working himself, you know, to the bone, right? Because he was so isolated, right? He was out there doing all that because that was his connection, and he was talking to DeWolf, and he's getting some type of connection that he had been cut off from. Frank, who knows isolation better than Frank?
Exactly.
Right? MJ and Ned, because again, I think that it was subtle, but I think that they did a very good job of showing that even forgetting Peter existed, there were holes in their lives, because they had built their lives from a young age around Peter. So all of a sudden there's just these blanks, right? And and then of course the rational thing in me, right? I'm sitting here watching the movie and I'm thinking to myself, how did a magic spell change the city's birth records, the school's records? All of the records that showed that Peter Parker attended PS whatever for elementary school, and you know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't just wipe your mind, it changes history. So he no longer,
right.
there's no
That's what he says. It made him not exist. But you can't make, again, my rational mind is going, you can't make paperwork on a massive level like that disappear.
Got to stretch it a little bit.
Yeah. And then it's like, duh, it's a comic book. Doctor Strange can do, Stephen Strange can do anything. His magic can do anything. It can erase documents across the entire United States, take away Social Security numbers and everything. Tax forms, they're all gone.
Take away my debt anytime he wants.
No kidding.
I will
say, everybody to forget I exist, though.
I don't want everyone to forget I exist. I just want them to forget my debt.
All my debt. Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to end this conversation on a happier note about Spider-Man.
Okay.
This is we were talking about how this movie is about grief and it's very sad. But I will say, I do think as soon as the movie ended, I truly felt hopeful.
Same.
It was you go through all the grief with him and feel all the loss. But the movie title, I feel like, is a play on. It's not just a brand new day for Peter because he now has to go through everything with no help. It's a brand new day right after.
It's a brand new day for everybody. It's a brand new day for Frank. It's a brand new day for Peter. It's a brand new day for MJ, for Ned, for Jean. I loved how she's got that tiny little smile on her face as that last cutaway on the bus, right? Now, of course, I took that to mean because she knew what she did for Peter.
Yeah.
As far as MJ and Ned go.
Right? I think it's because she's also hopeful because she's like, all right, so if Peter can lose everything and still have hope, I'm going to do something nice for him.
Have hope.
And I can still have hope. But also, Peter, throughout the movie, we were saying that he was just pushing himself so hard and trying to be, helpful to people. And he lost everybody, so he wasn't getting anything back.
Yeah.
The only person who was trying to give him anything back was that one cop. But she's like, I don't even know you, or anything. But I think the very end, when he's leaving the hospital and he just got to stand around with all the people who love Spider-Man, and he got to feel it, and he got to see the little kid. Yeah, that was so beautiful, and I think that was so important because that reinvigorated him. I think that made me emotional.
Seeing Frank do the silly stuff in the window, that little smile on Tom's face, on Peter's face, was priceless.
But it truly showed that what he's doing is important, what he's doing is worth it, and he is still loved, and he needs to still keep trying. He needs to still keep doing it, even if Jean even said, your old life is gone. Yeah. So he's never going to get MJ back the same way. He's never going to get Ned back the same way. He's never going to get his Aunt May back. Like his old life is over. So now it's a brand new day. Every day is a brand new day. So he now has motivation to get up and try his best every single day. Every day is a brand new day. Yeah. And he finally discovered that. And I think that was the real message of the movie. And I think that was so beautiful. So the movie
they did put that totally at the end. I have to agree with you. I think that was the that there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's always hope. Yes, you may lose everything, but you may also get it back. Might be different, but you'll appreciate it even more for what it was and what it is going to be, right? Yeah. For what you had and lost, but also for the potential of the growth of what you're going to create in the future. And I do think that it was one of the few movies where I didn't mind sitting through the credits to get to the post-credit scene, right? Because it did leave you with such a heartening, hopeful for the future, for Peter's future.
There's another Spider-Man out there.
Yeah. So yeah, and so now we're just Doctor Doom. That's it, right?
Now it's on to Doomsday, baby. December 18th.
Doom. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that.
Excited. I'm so scared. I'm so scared, but I'm so excited.
When are you going? You said you got tickets already, right?
Yeah, Thursday, the day it comes out.
The day it comes out. You going during the day?
I think I'm going in like the late afternoon.
I might have to go with you.
That's fine with me.
I mean, that might be fun. Just nobody in my family is a huge Doom fan, Doctor Doom fan. So I'm going to be the one in my household chomping at the bit to go to the movie. Everybody's going, can't we wait till the weekend?
Oh no, between me being obviously a diehard Doom fan, a huge Marvel MCU movie fan. Also, my family's a huge MCU fan. We're a huge family, so I have to. So people are gonna be like, "Are we going?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
But on top of that, with my job, I have to know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, my parents spoiled us. Going to the movies is a big family thing.
Yeah.
It was like a way we spent our Friday nights sometimes, especially if there was something my parents wanted to see that was coming out that we could all go see. And they were really big on always going on opening night. Yeah. Right. Because I think my dad was always like, well, if you're going to go, you might as well contribute to the opening box office, because those are the numbers that really matter to the industry.
Yep.
Right. And so yeah, and I did that like I all the way up through COVID. Multiverse of Madness was the last one. I actually was there the Thursday night before the Friday that it was going to open. Everything since I've seen like after the first week. So kind of bummed about that, but I'm actually considering doing the season pass at the Alamo.
That's what I do.
So, I don't know. It depends. Like if I, cause like I might not go to a movie again till December. So
that's the thing. It's worth it if you use it.
Yes.
If you use it like
you have to go to at least 2 movies for it to pay itself.
At least 2 movies, it pays for itself.
Yeah.
And I go to the movies.
Do you do the one where you get the discount off of food, or you just do the regular?
Yeah, I do the full one.
You get the 10% discount on the food and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. So, all right. Well, so guys, go see Spider-Man. If you haven't seen it yet, it's excellent. We both have agreed that it's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that this is a sign of continued success for Marvel and not a one-off blip, that because it's technically Sony. So I'm really hoping that this is a sign of things moving in a positive direction for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has kind of been up and down lately.
Yeah.
So December, that's coming out, and I don't even know what else there isn't any other Dune, the last Dune comes out soon, doesn't it?
Dune comes out the same day, so you got Dune and Doom.
Whoa, wow, okay.
It's gonna be a D double feature.
That's gonna be some competition there.
Yep.
So interesting. So Supergirl comes out on streaming here soon. Like you can already buy it and rent. Yeah. I don't want to rent it. I'm waiting for it to come to HBO. I'm not gonna pay the extra money when I can see it when it finally comes to HBO. But I am looking forward to seeing it.
I don't blame you.
So we can revisit.
When you watch it, we will talk about it.
Yeah, I was to say we should revisit once I've watched it. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. We're wrapped up. We need to do our top DC.
We do.
Female characters. We have not done DC yet. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on Wednesday. So, guys, maybe next week our next top 10. If not, it'll be the week. We'll do it sometime. We always get around to it.
We'll do it this month for sure.
Yes, we always do one a month. So, We will get it done sometime before the end of August. Are we going to stick with this 8 o'clock, or are we going back to 7:30 next week?
I think 8 o'clock's been working pretty well, actually.
I actually kind of like 8 o'clock too. It just gives me that little bit of extra time in the evening if I'm out to get home, get fed, get the dogs fed, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, guys, so that's it. So we have a new siren time. It's going to be 8 p.m. on Sunday nights. We are on the same siren channel. We do now have an Instagram. So find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, Loco Sirens. You can find us in any one of those social medias. Give us a like, give us a follow. The more followers we get, the more places we can stream live. And we are loving streaming live. So we want to come to you. We want to come to you more often. I'm going to try to start doing my little go through the week's comics just real quick, not the top 5. I'm going to start streaming that on either Wednesday nights or Thursday mornings on the YouTube and on the Instagram and Facebook. If you want to do that as well, you're more than welcome. So, if you want to start going on and maybe doing your, like the comic shop's top picks of the week or whatever, let me know. I think I have to give you the Instagram information, but anyway, give us a like, give us a follow, guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for tuning in. Come back and see us next week. Same siren time, same siren channel. Remember, I should say new siren time, 8 p.m. This is going to be so next week will be our 3rd week at the new time. So yes, remember us at 8 o'clock. We'll see you next week, folks. See you in the funny papers. Good night.